the so-called fourth industrial revolution. It is said that this revolution offers the potential to create an economy driven by environmentally friendly technologies. How do you see the possibility of this potential becoming a reality, the employment opportunities, etc.? So how can environmental sustainability coexist with social and economic sustainability?
And the fourth industrial revolution, I believe, is mainly the absolute revolution in information technology, in biotechnology, and in the energy market into renewables. It's an enormous transformative change for the world. For sure, there are problems here. We do not know whether it will create more or less jobs. I mean, that's a critical issue. The IT revolution can also be used for negatives like hate crimes on the internet, as an example. So there are needs for regulating the market. But overall, it's an enormous potential force for good. And of course, if you merge them, you can achieve even more. Information technology, for instance, can improve the efficiency of the energy provided a lot. Chinese company Huawei, as an example, are using its high tech to improve the output of solar parks, and they can increase the output of 10 to 50% from the solar park using their high tech. Same, Huawei is also using their high tech with drones to help farmers to increase the output of the farm, but using less fertilizer and less pesticide, so that you get more yield with less input of harmful substances. So the merger of IT and the renewable revolution has an enormous potential for taking the world in a much greener fashion in the 21st century. And we should absolutely use all this. And for Turkey, of course, this is also a huge opportunity for creating jobs in the renewable industries. The sun is in Turkey most of the year. The potential for solar power is huge. Parts of Turkey is also very dry. You can use these new technologies for tree planting. You can plant trees with drones, for instance. So there are huge opportunities if you employ these new technologies.
Everybody, I think, agrees in the fight against climate change. China plays an important role, and you know the practice of China, I think, very well. So maybe some questions, because it's very important about the practice of China. What is the purpose of China's Green Belt and Road Initiative? Because the phrase Green Marshall Plan was adopted by some British officials to describe this project.
What I find extremely interesting is that the two biggest developing countries, China and India, both take the same attitude. They look into this climate change as a threat to the nations, but also as an enormous opportunity. Neither China nor India, for instance, have a traditional car industry. What do? Leapfrog into the future. And half of all electric cars are now sold in China. India is also fast moving into electric mobility. There's a company in India called Ola, which has set up an electric scooter factory in record time, and their slogan is Tesla for the West, Ola for the rest, meaning that they believe that they can produce electric vehicles much cheaper than the West. So both China and India see this as an enormous opportunity for creating jobs and prosperity and economic growth. And China, of course, is well ahead of India, even if India is moving in the same direction. China is now totally dominant in all green technologies. We need to get up very early in the morning in Europe and North America who want to compete with China. 82% of all solar panels in the world last year were produced in China. 70% of all electric batteries were produced in China. Yes, you buy an American car, but the battery is made in China, and the battery is 50% of the value of the car. And Belt and Road, which is the Chinese institution for cooperating with the rest of the world, with Europe and Turkey, for instance, through the Silk Road, through Central Asia, but also with Africa and Latin America, has an enormous potential for providing Chinese green investment to the world, but also for people-to-people's contact and learning. Yes, China can learn from other countries, but of course, more and more, the rest of the world need to learn from China.
Another issue in China's practice is the phrase, I mean, the ecological civilization idea. How would you evaluate this idea, and can you maybe compare it with the Green Deal? Where do the Green Deal and ecological so-called civilization converge and divide? This is, I think, also interesting to understand.
Obviously, Green Deal in Europe or North America and ecological civilization is a lot of the same. What I love with the concept of ecological civilization is it's a positive concept. Because most environmentalism in the past was about the negative, avoiding the negatives. I mean, basically, economists said, oh, we want to develop and we want to get all people to get rich and move into the middle class. Then there will have to be some destruction of the environment. And then the environmentalists will say, no, that's not acceptable. But now you can coin a positive, enthusiastic vision for the future with more jobs and prosperity, better health and livelihood for people, and better protection of Mother Earth, all at the same time. That is, to me, what ecological civilization is all about, a vision for the 21st century, which is green and people-oriented, rather than the old vision, which was you move ahead with the economy without any consequences for the ecology, and you create a very divided society. It's a positive vision, which we should all embrace. There's always a reluctance in the West to use a concept which was developed in China. But back in the early days of climate talks, Bolivia coined a slogan which was Mother Earth. Then people in the West said, this is so dangerous, very dangerous, because it comes from the ideologies of Bolivia, and Bolivia is a left-wing government, I mean, with roots in the indigenous culture in Bolivia, so we should avoid that concept. But what was the difference between Mother Earth and, say, the Islamic or Christian attitude that you should protect what God or Allah has created? There is no difference. And all of a sudden, Barack Obama started using the concept of Mother Earth, and then everyone said, "Oh, this is all fine, no problem." And the same here, we should embrace, yes, this concept which comes from China, an ecological civilization, and we should jointly create it. China and America, Europe and Africa, or India, all of us, let's jointly create an ecological civilization. It's such a positive concept.
Thank you very much, Mr. Solheim.